have to remove ourselves, right? Hello. Where's she? There she is. Hi.
I was sharing to my Facebook.
I'm
trying, I'm getting this live thing down.
I love it.
Speaking of, I went live this morning.
I saw
on Contractor Accelerator. That's like the first time I've ever done that, like from my phone, just jumping on a live.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love it.
So not so much of a live newbie anymore. It felt fine. Like I was, other than I was telling you guys on the Monday morning meeting that I was completely out of breath and like winded.
It happens.
Well, chemo makes me like that.
Yeah.
It's a little rough sometimes, but we're getting through it.
One more.
Speaking of, I don't know if everybody knows, I am round 5 down. So 5 down, 1 to go. I only have 1 more chemo.
Yes. We're very excited.
Yeah. Last Tuesday was round 5 and July 7th will be my last one. So actually, while I was there, I don't think I told you, there was a lady that got to ring the bell when I was there last time, but she didn't ring the big bell. They gave her a little bell. And so she was like this, and I saw her and I was like, you got to stand up and ring that thing. So she did.
That's awesome.
Well, do we have any people jumping in yet? Looks like
we got a few people watching. Make sure you say hi. Tell us who you are, who you're with. Shout out in the comments as we get started here. I don't want to wait too terribly long. I always feel like, sometimes like the beginning drags on and we just chit chat for a while and people are like, oh my God, get started. So.
But also we have a lot to cover. So
I know we do. So let's just dive in then.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome.
So this is live 3? Yeah.
Is this 3 or is this 4? No, this is 3.
3. Yeah. Well, let's look at the calendar. Yeah, this is live 3.
Oh man, your paper calendar. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we're going to do today. Today we're going to show you guys. So we already launched the new navigation for like the main navigation. And with that launch, we went ahead and gave you guys the new styling for the projects page so that you could kind of get used to that a little bit. Today, we're going to be talking about the new customer details page and the new property details page, which will follow kind of that same styling across the navigation, but the actual page has some pretty significant updates, I think, as well, that I think you guys are going to love. It's going to be a bit of a change, so don't freak out on us. We promise we have thought very carefully about how to lay this out for you. So we're starting with the customer and the properties pages, and then the project page will be something that will be coming in the future after you get used to kind of the look and feel of this with customer and property, or customer and property first, then project. Blah, blah, blah.
And the new project detail is going to be our last live in June or July. Last live in July. So around the end of July, we have a date for that. July 28th. That'll be when we show the new project details page, but it'll be similar to what we're seeing today.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So, I mean, that's really the topic today is those 2 pages, because it's a lot even within those 2 pages. I think you know, as much as we love the software, these were older pages that hadn't necessarily gotten that facelift treatment in a while. And as we were building out the calendar, obviously the calendar connects to so many other things. And it got to the point where the development team, Amanda and the group, were like, God, we're having to update all this stuff in order to make that calendar connect. And it's just kind of disconnected with this old style and the new style. So we took a step back and decided to do these updates for you guys every couple of weeks. So we are rolling out a whole new facelift for Contractor Accelerator. And this is, as Amanda said, live number 3 in that process. So I'm super excited. Some of our customers have been asking for what we're about to show you. For when did Karen start asking for notes? Years.
It's been I don't even know. 2021, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope she's watching today. All right. You want to take it away, Miss Amanda?
Well, this won't look anything new. This is what we have now.
Okay.
Yes. But we wanted to kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. So when we say customer details page, this is the page. Also, with our new update, we launched with our new layout that we launched last week, we made a couple adjustments at the end of the week last week just to help you better, like in terms of wayfinding and figuring out where you are and making sure that you don't get lost. So you'll notice up here on the top, we have this customer details : and then it has Sierra or the customer's name in blue. So we wanted to make that the prominent thing, but this page name here is going to be where you're at. So that is important to remember. So this is the existing customer details page, and this is the new customer details.
I should have drum rolled. I feel like
Oh man, we didn't load any sound effects in.
Confetti.
Yeah. So there's a lot to take in here. But what we did is we basically took the pieces that were important for as far as like managing a customer, and we put those in the middle of the page. So you have like an overview, so you can get like a little bit of each tab, kind of like what you have in the project details page now, where you've got the overview tab and it has a little bit from each tab, the important things. So we've done that, kept that same consistency, also like the customer portal. And you'll notice this does look a lot like the customer portal. So we're keeping some of that design aesthetic the same throughout the software. So from here, you have overview, activities timeline, which we'll talk about in a minute, tasks, properties, projects. So for this customer, this is all of their tasks, all of their properties, all of their projects. But then all of the information, reference information, contact information is going to be over here at the sidebar. What's really cool too, Jen, is this sidebar opens and closes, which is pretty nice. So when you're on a tablet or a phone, it'll close up for you. But also, if you just don't need to reference that, if you want to have more space, you can close that sidebar up and work in a better space there. So notice some of this is like very similar, like the sidebar opens and closes. We're making navigation easier. We're making things flexible. So it's very exciting.
Well, and I like that there's just a lot more space to do the work, right? Sometimes especially when you're out in the field and you're on a tablet, you have, headers and navigation and all that stuff that's taking up so much space on the screen, and you only have a tiny little square to work in. So by giving them the ability to actually close some of that stuff up, it gives you guys a lot more screen space to actually do the work that you're trying to get done.
Yeah. Just a quick note. I'm noticing, we don't have many people on, and we usually do. I wonder if Mondays are not a good time.
Maybe not. Mondays are usually busy.
Yeah. Keep that in mind for future lives.
Okay. The reason we're doing it today is because for our foundation friends, if you guys are going to the National Foundation Repair Association show, Dee Dee and I will be there, and we leave tomorrow. So we wanted to get the live knocked out today so that you guys could see it.
Yeah, but that's okay. People can rewatch.
That's right.
All right. So you'll notice these are your open tasks. These are going to be what we call our cards. So this is going to become very consistent throughout the software. So we have a task card here, and anytime you see a task card, it's going to look this same way. Same with a project. This is similar to the things that we saw when we were looking at the calendar back in May, or whenever that was, where we had like the project card within, opened up the appointment, you could see that information. We're keeping that same consistency. So whenever you see this information, you're going to know where to look to get the information that you're looking for. Yeah. Okay. So I also want to go into these tabs. So each tab is going to have a data table. So I know we have several customers who are working with like commercial property management companies or something, and they've got hundreds of properties. So now they will be able to see those properties in a table view, sort, filter, export, whatever they want to do with each of those items. So inside of these tabs, we'll have tasks, properties, and projects. Again, similar to what you're used to, like if you go to the projects table and you see project information, it's literally the same table, as well as properties. This is all information that you're used to seeing. We're just giving it to you inside of that customer details, and it's going to be filtered to that customer.
Yeah.
One thing I also wanted to point out here that we don't have now that we are adding is a current property. So for a customer, you will be able to see a history of all the properties that you've ever worked on with them, even if it transferred. So you'll be able to see a list of their properties and which one is the current one, or the next thing I want to show.
Nice segue, Amanda.
Property details. So this is a brand new page. We for a long time have realized how important a property is in terms of the software, right? Because a property is the place that you're doing the work, especially foundation repair, because a lot of that work is like lifetime warranted. And so whatever they do needs to be maintained with that property for its life cycle. But you also have a history of people that have owned that property. So what we're doing with this update is we're basically promoting a property to be just as important as a customer. And so you can tie those together and then create a project from those, or you can see at that property who all has had work done or who all has owned that property, and then also all of the projects under that property. So even if they were different owners, you'll be able to see a list of all the projects that have ever been done at that property.
Yeah, which we had a lot of that information in the past. You've always been able to move a property. This is just making it a little easier to navigate and see those details and really have access to that history, because then you know, hey, I worked with Jane before at this old house. Now she's calling me for her new house or whatever. So I think, again, the theme of all of this, guys, is that it's a facelift. The goal here is to make it easier to navigate, faster to get the information that you need, and just more consistent throughout the software. You're used to seeing these same tables. They operate the same way. You have filters everywhere now. So it's just a lot easier to navigate and get to the information that you want more quickly.
Yes. And like I said, titling is important. So we have customer details, property details. So there is a distinct difference between the two pages. And then obviously project, you go into a project and you'll see the project details up there at the top. But I know some of that can get confusing at times, which is why we wanted it to be super important to be in that page title.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Wow, we don't have any comments.
I know. Say hi, guys. There's people watching.
Even if it's our team. Because I know our team is watching. Because I told them this morning, come join us.
Come join us. Hang out and say hello. Do you want to talk a little bit more about hi, Casey? Yo.
Designer extraordinaire. Whoops.
Yeah.
Ooh. Showing too much there. I'm trying to get my notes.
The other thing that I like about this is that there's more details. So on the overview pages and first of all, we weren't showing any of this on the customer page previously. And now you're getting, the customer page has everything related to this customer, not, we had feedback about, I have to click into the project in order to see these certain things. And now you're getting some of that stuff on the overview page. The tasks just used to say you have a task and it is either open or closed. And now you have this whole card that has a lot more detail on it. So just really quickly at a glance, you can be like, oh yeah, I know that task. I know it's due today. I'm on top of it without having to click away from the page to go double check it.
Well, here's another tidbit. I don't know that I've shared this with you, but for projects and tasks, you won't have to click away from the page to even edit them or manage them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So within the customer details page, within the property page, within all of these pages, you'll be able to click this 3-dot menu and you'll be able to actually edit the task, complete the task, add notes to it, whatever, delete it if you want. Same with the project. You can just edit the project straight from here. You don't actually have to go to the project details page to edit anymore.
I love that. That's amazing. Hi, Bailey. Bailey has a question for us. She says, what does the overview page look like if there are multiple current properties?
Yeah. So that one, we actually were just talking about that this morning. So we are going to create a scenario where you don't necessarily have a current property. And if there isn't a current property, it's just going to show either nothing or it's going to show the most recent here on the overview.
Yeah.
So Bailey, what would you like it to see or say?
Let's get some feedback, real life feedback.
So that's part of this live is, this is this is the lot that we're changing. And even with the layout we learned last week, like people are so used to using things in a certain way. And when you change it, it's like, oh my gosh. And so we got some really great feedback on the fly last week and we were able to make some layout changes. And so we really want to be considerate of making these changes and not overwhelming anyone or ruining your world because, people complain all the time. My software company changed everything and I hate it now, So what would you like it to say or show, Bailey, if it's like a commercial property or commercial customer or a residential customer, I guess, that has multiple properties? What would you like that to show there?
Yeah.
Any feedback
I think it's fairly normal for them to have like one property that's having work done if it's just like, Jane Smith, the homeowner. But there could be like 3 or 4 that are actively being worked on. So that's why we were thinking maybe most recent, but even that will flip and change as people click into it. So definitely would love feedback on that, Bailey, or anyone else.
You'll also notice, Jen, there's a little QuickBooks bucket here.
Got that on there, yeah, they're gonna be excited about that.
Yeah, so with our QuickBooks integration, we've noticed before where sometimes the QuickBooks customer got updated, but the Contractor Accelerator customer didn't. So they have trouble finding which customer's actually tied in the back end. So we're going to give you a little preview there now of that QuickBooks customer.
Yeah, because even if Contractor Accelerator created that customer, somebody can still go in to QuickBooks later and change their name or whatever. So
or change the Contractor Accelerator customer too.
Yeah, that too.
So you'll notice this is our next discussion question. Right above that is a new thing we have called tags.
Bum, bum, bum.
So the idea of tags is literally you can just tag a customer with anything, right? Like this is a service plan customer so that you could go and filter and find all your service plan customers quickly, right, in a data table. But maybe also you want to tag it as residential. So we wanted to create some flexibility there, but this is where we have some questions because we don't want to just we want to have tags for projects eventually, maybe even tags for bids if that's needed. But the question is, do we create these tags and do we make them reusable across a customer and a project and maybe a bid or whatever else, jobs later, whatever else we create? Would the tags be more beneficial if they were reusable, or should they be specific for like customer tags, project tags, bid tags? So that's our next question.
Yeah. And we kind of have this today with project type, but I think, and that's kind of where this really evolved from, right? It's really nice to be able to pull reports based on project type. So you can always tell, hey, how many jobs did I win of this particular project? Or how many did I lose of this particular project? What are we installing next week? This is one of those things that's going to be updated on the calendar too, right? We're bringing those project tags, project types into the calendar filtering system so you can filter by different project types. So then we kind of started talking about like, oh, it'd be great to be able to tag customers or, do they use the same language? Is it the same, is the project type the same thing as a customer tag? Are they different things? How would you guys use those is really the question, I think.
Yeah, and maybe even like some of our fence companies, they could do like this was an iron customer, right? And so they can tag customers based on the type of work that was done and then later market to them.
Mm-hmm. Bailey says being able to filter by project with X installed. Yeah. Which is kind of what we were talking about, the different types. Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Bailey. We appreciate your participation today. Speaking of tagging things,
What?
where else can we tag things?
I don't know.
Notes.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not necessarily tagging. That's something different. That's
Oh.
yeah, but okay. So I was like, where is she going with that? All right. Yeah, let's transition because this is going to be a big discussion topic. So you'll notice this tab I did not click on called Activities Timeline. This one is still a work in progress. And so you are seeing our actual prototype from our design system. But we wanted to walk you through what this looks like, how it works, the names. This is where we're going to spend the most time today. So, activities timeline.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we use internally a CRM, and they call their thing like this activities. And so that's kind of where we got the idea. But I was telling Casey, like, activities is so generic. You know, it doesn't really tell you exactly what's in there. Activities timeline is even still a little generic, but I felt like it gave it a little something extra. But the idea is that this is a combination. Like the more we started thinking about this, it was like, okay, we need notes for a customer. We need to show all the emails that have went out to the customer. We need to show all the texts that have went out to the customer. Jen had the idea of like when you create a task and you complete that task and you have completion notes, like that almost fits in that same timeline aesthetic or timeline review. And then calls. We could do call logging. So all of those things really honestly need to be in one list where you can see them in relation to each other and not separated out into different tabs. So that is where we got the idea of this activities timeline, where it's going to be a timeline of every single thing in a chronological or in a, I guess, time order. So this is the blank screen.
This is when nothing's happened yet.
Literally nothing. But you go and create a customer, you schedule an appointment, and let me actually just zoom over to the last screen here. So you go and create a customer, you schedule an appointment, and you send them an email and a text about that appointment. This is now what that would look like. So from the customer details page, you would be able to see, okay, I created that customer, and this is the text that went out. This is the email that went out. The system created a task automatically to do something. Yes, that will be coming. And so you'll be able to see those in that order. In addition to, you can add notes. So let me go back now. Casey built this whole prototyping thing. I need to actually use it. Okay. So if you click add note,
Dun, dun, dun.
then you get a note modal. So here you will create your note. The note will have a title. If you want to add a title to it, you'll notice you can tag the notes now. So you can tag someone in the notes. They will get an email notification and an in-app notification using our new notification system. Everything's coming together. It's so cool. So once you save that note, then you will see it in that activities timeline. Yeah. So this is a customer level note, even though it says project note, but that's okay. The idea is that we're also going to be bringing in project notes. So you're from this customer details page, you're not only going to see the customer notes, but you're also going to see the project notes and any activity that happened within that project. So it is literally the timeline of events for that customer.
Yeah. And this is, like I said, this is one of our customers has been asking for this for quite some time now because they do a lot of work for like property management groups. So they may have 3 or 4 different projects going all at the same time, and they're having to click in and out of each one of those particular projects instead of just looking at a high-level overview of everything that's going on with that one customer. So this kind of brings it all together. You can still add project notes. Those project notes get copied over to the customer as well. So they'll be in both places, which I think is a huge advantage because it's a lot less clicking and you'll be able to see everything all in one screen. So.
And just as a little sneak peek, I'm sure you can summarize by now, but the project details page, when we update it by the end of July, will have the same tab and it will be filtered just for that project.
Yeah.
So again, we're maintaining that same consistency. So it's similar to things across similar aesthetics, interfaces across the board.
Yeah.
But you'll also notice that the notes come with comments now too,
Mhm.
which is super exciting. So you can go and add a note, and then someone else, maybe your manager, salesperson, adds a note. The manager comes in and says, hey, did you remember to include blah, 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 right? So they can tag that salesman in it. They can comment, they get notifications. They can go to the note. You can literally communicate with each other through the software back and forth.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. And I think, again, I just want to highlight like what this used to be was just the right-hand bar. In what you guys have live on your systems today, this is the customer page that just has the customer's contact information, and the customer portal, and then it has their projects and their properties are listed there. So it's super basic. So this doesn't replace the details inside the project page. The update for that is coming. This is adding to what you guys already have and giving it a bit of a facelift for that new modern feel, and making more room on the page for some of these additional things that you're now able to see in here. I love the customer notes. You want to kind of talk through the other things that you can see up there in the upper left, Amanda? All notes and all that stuff.
Yeah. So you could filter. So we're calling this like a quick filter. So it's going to show all activities, but you can quickly just look at any texts that have gone out to the customer or any notes that have been added for the customer. So you can quickly filter, just because this is going to be a lot of information, and it's going to be a little overwhelming if you have a bunch of stuff. Like we have this one view here where you can see more, right? So you could just quickly filter just to focus on the things that you want to see. We have not removed the pinned capability either. So pinned notes will still be up here. Notes will be the only thing that you can pin, though. You won't be able to pin like system notifications and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one thing to note here too, I know for the email and the calls, for right now, it is just a log. So anything that the software is sending out as far as like text messages or emails, those will all show in here so you can see exactly what was sent and when it was sent. But there's not going to be the capability to type a one-off email and have that send yet.
Yeah.
I
love where ... yet.
Yes. So that is, all of these updates are in order to make way for new things that we have planned. So hint, there's other things we have planned. So for right now, that email, text, and calls are just logging things. They are not sending necessarily. You can't type in that box and have it send. But the software is already sending those texts and emails for you. It's just showing you when those have gone out for now.
Yes. Oh, this is so exciting.
It is exciting. I love it.
I don't think there was anything else necessarily to show with this, with activities, but there was some discussion questions we wanted to do.
Well, I think, you guys are out in the field living and breathing and using the software. We know the software, we use the software, but we're teaching. We're not actually out in the field utilizing it. So we really do want your feedback on this. Right now we have notes, emails, texts, calls, tasks, and then of course all. Is there anything else that we're missing from that you guys would need to see on here? And I want to kind of, again, caveat this by saying, this is the customer level. There are going to be things that are too detailed for this, right? So we want to remember that this is the customer level. And if there's anything else in here that maybe we've forgotten, that would be good to know. So we'd love your feedback on that.
Yes. I also did want to show this little 3-dot menu, because there is another thing that we wanted to include with this, and this is where we wanted to get some feedback from you guys. So the salesperson gets assigned to a customer, right? And so any activities or notes that happen, specifically notes that happen with that customer, with that project, the idea is that maybe someone wants to follow along on that note, right? So maybe there was a note where the customer had a warranty issue and it's going to be a significant cost. So maybe there's a note about the customer calling in about the warranty issue. Well, the owner of the company or some high-level sales rep wants to follow that note because that's a big deal, right? And they want to see what's going to happen with it. So the idea of following means that you will get notified anytime there's an update or a comment made on that note.
Mm-hmm.
So, thoughts? You like it? Is that too much?
Well, I think the real question boils down to like when do you want to be notified, right? Like, which, I mean, there's of course settings on, yes, I want to be notified, no, I don't, but we just wanted to make sure that we're enabling you to be notified when you want to be, and not every single thing that happens every single time for every single customer, because I know that could turn into a lot. So we'd love your feedback on that too. Bailey does have a quick question for us about the phone numbers for different customers. Bailey, I know exactly what you're talking about because I know we've talked about this before. I'll follow up with you afterwards on this because it's a longer discussion. So I know what you're talking about. I'll follow up with you. Casey says, I love it, but I'm biased because he's the one who designed it. And we love it too, Casey.
Yes, we do.
I know that there's going to be a lot to process in looking at this. This is a lot of new information. I told Amanda even just earlier today, I was like, I've seen it a few times. I'm not living and breathing it yet because I'm not in the development side of things. But I've seen it a few times and I still look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much to look at. I'm still processing everything. So I know you guys are going to be processing things too. We didn't take anything away. We've only added and made it look a little bit more modern. So you are still on the customer overview page. You still have all of those same details. The navigation to get here is still the same. If you search for a customer, either by going to the customers table or by clicking from your project status pipeline or by going to global search, like the navigation to get here is still the same. You're still arriving at the customer the same way. You can still go from the customer into the property and from the property into the project. So all of that functionality is still here. It's just a little bit of a facelift and some new functionality for you.
Yeah, which is so nice.
It is. So nice. I'm excited. And once again, this is something that's been in the works for years as far as like design and testing and all of that stuff. So it's really cool to see it all come to fruition.
Well, I guess that's all we have.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely Mondays may not be the best day to do a live. Obviously, our customers are always super busy on Mondays, but we'll be checking comments. So if you guys have some time to run through this and want to add comments later, we'll respond in the comments.
And the team loves positive feedback too. So any positive feedback you want to provide, and obviously good and bad or what's the word? Suggestions for improvements.
Opportunities.
Opportunities. Yeah. But yes, the team loves to hear positive feedback as well too. Oh, thanks, Dee Dee.
So excited about all these updates. Yes, we are too. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for the time. We'll keep it short today. And definitely, you know how to reach us. It's support@contractoraccelerator.com. You can also comment here and let us know if you guys have any feedback. We'll talk soon.
Oh, we got Floyd. Hi, Floyd.
Hi, Floyd.
Glad you jumped in. You'll have to go back and rewatch it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.